Hey everyone, Matt here from Dr. Rennie, and today we're going to do a comparison review of the Hoka Cielo Road and the Saucony Sinister. So these are both shorter distance, super foam shoes from these two different companies. Both of them share something that they don't have plates, but they have super foams here, which many of us have been looking for, to have some lighter shoes to actually get some miles on, because we don't necessarily want a plate all the time, and also want to have shoes that are light enough and versatile enough to handle super fast efforts. Not all of us can handle track spikes. Some people want to be able to do some stuff on the road. So that's where these two shoes come into play. How they're executed, though, is completely different, and they're going to work very differently for different people. So hopefully with this review, I'm going to be able to tell you what's the difference is and which one might work better or might work worse for you. So let's start out with specs. First of all, the Hoka Cielo Road is coming in at 7.1 ounces for men's size 9, women's size 10.5, because it's unisex sizing. It has a 30 millimeter heel, 30 millimeter forefoot, and a 3 millimeter drop. The Saucony Sinister is coming in at 4.9 ounces for men's size 9, 4.3 ounces for women's size 8, 25 in the heel, 19 millimeters in the forefoot for a 6 millimeter drop. And I believe, someone correct me if I've done this totally wrong because I'm looking at this, I think this qualifies as a track shoe because it's right at that 25 millimeter stack height limit. The Cielo Road will not, because it's much higher, but that's one thing to be aware of. If you're trying to use these as legitimate faster track shoes, this technically is in the rules, this isn't. But for most of us, we're going to be running track races where that's not really the biggest thing. So unless you're a pro, I wouldn't worry about that. Some big differences starting out. Fit is really different. So the Cielo Road, if you can tell, I actually had to tighten the laces down because it actually has a decent amount of room for this kind of shoe. I was expecting this thing to be really snug. It wasn't. It's just enough room. The volume's really low, but there's just enough width that I actually was really comfortable. I was comfortable warming up in this shoe, doing some easy miles, doing a workout. It's not the widest shoe, so if you have super wide feet, this is going to still be a bit of a struggle, but normal width feet, definitely. Narrow width feet, you might actually struggle just a teeny bit, but normal width feet do really well. Little bit more square toe box, not perfect, but really nice, comfortable fit. Saucony Sinister, I think I've been abusing the phrase a track spike-like fit because this one is one of the narrowest shoes I've ever put on. Like, I struggle to put my foot in this. It is very, very, very narrow. You can see that between the two of them. So people that have wide feet, this is going to be impossible to get on your foot. That's just the way it is. It is nice because it's very secure. I don't even think I have to tie the laces to get a secure fit on this shoe. So yeah, very snug, very narrow fit, very much like that true track like I think track spikes actually fit wider than this. So yeah, the upper does stretch a little bit, so be aware of that. I was able to get some decent miles on these, but it's not wide at all, and it is super snug and narrow. How the weight is distributed is also a little bit different. So there is a heel counter, surprising or not, in the back here. So if you want a little more structure in the rear foot, it's here. It didn't bother me at all for those that are sensitive. Whereas the Cielo Road, this thing is totally flexible. So if you have any heel sensitivities, this does really, really well. Security-wise, though, the Sinister does a little bit better just because of how narrow it is. But once you lock this shoe down, I didn't have any security issues and was totally fine going at a variety of paces. So two completely different fits. Hopefully one works a little bit better for you, and hopefully that makes you aware that if you have a wide foot, you're not gonna be able to wear this. It's that narrow. Going on to rides, also completely different. The Saucony Sinister, again, using power on PB, is just a little bit firmer. That's just how it goes. Power on PB in general tends to be a little bit firmer than a lot of the super foams, and especially this lower mount, it's still a little firm. It's plenty more bouncy than some of the other minimal shoes out there that are similar stack heights. It is actually fairly flexible, so running super fast, I really enjoyed this shoe. It's so light at 4.9 ounces for men's size 9. My size 10 is like 5.5. It's one of the lightest shoes I put on my feet in a while. It makes me wish like the Mizuno Wave Universe and the Saucony Type A and shoes like that, which companies, I'd love to see updates to that, which I guess this is kind of it for the Type A. Anyway, a decent amount of flexibility, so if you're looking for a stiff shoe, this is not going to be it. It does have bounce when you pick up the pace, but not like a super shoe bounce. There's just enough protection to do fine, and it actually tends to work really well on track and a little bit of dirt. So I really enjoy getting this on some dirt. The traction on the outsole is really, really good, actually, and tends to grip fairly well. On any other trail, don't do it. But like cross country, if you don't want a cross country spike, this might be a good alternative. Whereas the Cielo Road it's got a little bit more. The more foam there at 33 is still fairly high compared to what it used to be. And this People Foam has some bounce, and I really, really enjoyed it. In terms of versatility, This is definitely more road. It's not that the outsole is bad and the durability's been great. It just doesn't have the same grip as this one. So I wouldn't take this off-road. I would consider this for some very mild cross-country courses. But on road, I can get a lot more distance out of the shoe. The more bounce, the more foam. I feel like I can go to 10K, maybe even beyond in this kind of shoe. Whereas this one, the Sinister, I would max this out as 5K, especially for a lot of people that are not used to very little shoe. Some people are going to get more miles out of the Cielo Road just because it's got more bounce, a little more protection, and it's also way more stiff. Even though there's no plate, it's fairly stiff still. So I kind of like that for a little longer effort. So if I'm doing longer reps, a tempo run, something like that, I like this better. But if I'm doing really fast 400s, sprint, stuff like that, that's where the Sinister, for me, does a little bit better. So I'm going to suggest, unless you're used to really minimal shoes, the Sinister is probably going to do a little bit better on the shorter end. The Cielo Road is going to have a little bit more versatility into some other distances. I wouldn't take this for a marathon. I'm sure there's somebody who can. I can't do that anymore. I certainly wouldn't do it in this. But it's going to have some more versatility in longer distances. Whereas, again, you want to go as fast as possible, Sinister. Not that I haven't run really fast in the Cielo Road. I really enjoy it. But it's just kind of got a different ride. That little stiffness rolls a little bit better. This just snaps a little bit quicker just because it's slightly firmer. But overall, both of them are actually really good shoes. I'm really surprised this is coming in at 7.1 ounces, and that's what the scale has it for me. It's like 7.5 ounces for my size 10. Because they both feel really good. The bounce makes this shoe feel lighter, but the flexibility makes this shoe feel like really fast to those shorter efforts. But between the two of them, based on the fit, because this is like almost too narrow for me, I really like the Cielo Road. It's comfortable. I like a little bit lower shoe. It's got the bounce that I wanted from the Takumi Sen, but didn't really get. And it's just, the fit's really nice, customizable, and I feel like I can do even some mileage in this shoe if I want something light. But both are solid. It's going to really depend on what you want. You want the lightest possible thing? Go with the Sinister. You want a little bit more bounce and a little bit of stiffness, even though it's a little bit lighter, you don't want to go with the Cielo Road. Again, both of them are great options. They're just going to work better for different people. So hopefully that helps. I know some people have been asking for this review. Thanks for being patient. Please know I have a 5-week-old as of this, and I'm working on all kinds of stuff. We are always trying to get new stuff out. We got plenty of reviews coming. We appreciate your patience. And as always, we hope this helps.